My memory's not the greatest, but I welcome everyone here. It's a nice place here, the McAllen Public Library, to hold such an event, and I think you'll be happy that you came today. Hopefully you'll learn something new, maybe have some questions answered, and maybe even be entertained a little bit today. I'm Stephen Drosco. I'm a retired school teacher and librarian, and I've been interested in doing research on the UFO phenomenon for a while, and so I like to attend the meetings of the MUFON members here in the Valley and hear a lot of the reports and things that are happening here in the Valley. And you see their little banner there for the Mutual UFO Network 956. So we'll get started. Our first speaker is Lillian Jiménez, and she's coordinator at MUFON 956, which is a local team within the Mutual UFO Network serving the Rio Grande Valley. In this role, she helps bring people together through meetings like this one, open discussions, and public events. She's also on the administrative team for the Texas UFO Network, which is a state-based volunteer group that provides resources and connects people who have experienced sightings or other unexplained events. So please welcome Lillian Jiménez.
Thank you. Hi everybody, can you hear me? I have to get really close. Okay, I think maybe I'll just hold this. Okay. Thank you so much, Steve, for that introduction, and thank you guys for being here today with us. Like Steve said, I hope that you learned something, that you have fun, and that you make a cool new connection. Some of you don't know, but it's like-minded. If you look at the screen, so you'll be able, we're going to have a panel at the after the presentations. So if you go to the website and enter the code HG8I1, you can submit your questions there, or you can just use the QR code. So that'll come up later if you don't get it now. Anyway, like Steve said, my name is Lillian. I'm from the Valley. I'm from Donna. And I'm kind of nervous. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's get going. So I'm actually going to talk to you guys today about some local sightings that are cases in the MUFON case management system that we have access to for being members of MUFON. And I'll tell you more about that organization afterwards again. So, before we get started, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to explain to you, I'm sure a lot of you know, but whoever doesn't, so close encounter, that phrase comes from actually the classification system that J. Allen Hynek created to classify sightings that he was investigating. So the first three, the first kind, a close encounter of the first kind is a sighting of a UFO without any interaction with it, just viewing it, not having, not seeing an entity or anything like that, or it leaving behind any physical evidence. The second kind is when they do leave behind physical evidence, either scorched earth or The third kind is an observation of of occupants or beings inside of the craft. So those were the first three categories that Hynek came up with. Two were later added, the fourth kind and the fifth kind. The fourth is like abductions, and the fifth is when people get together and like elicit the sighting through meditation or through groups like that. Okay. Today we're mostly going to be talking about sightings of the first kind. Okay. So the first sighting is a historical sighting. It's from Hargill, a little bit different than the more modern ones. They were a group of kids, so this was reported 20 years after it happened. The event occurred in 69 or 70, and it was reported in 2018. So it was kids, they're 12 and 13 years of age. They're outside and they view or witness a craft above the trees, the tree line, and it was bright, it had no sound, very similar to other sightings. But this one, he describes it as looking like a Roman chariot. So it had a structure. And the only evidence for this one is obviously an eyewitness testimony. The historical sightings will mostly have that. I think that's going to be very common for sightings until we can kind of get a little bit more modern, and phones and stuff like that are easily accessible and people are able to record or bring them out. The next sighting is in Edinburgh. It is also classified as Close Encounter 1. So this is a lady who witnessed a craft hovering above her for 10 minutes. She was actually near, what's interesting about this one is that she was actually near the Moore airfield, and you've heard about Noe's books, and he has a lot of expertise in that sighting. And so this is, sorry, I'm like trying to focus here, guys. Okay, so this is so she submitted a sheriff's report for this sighting, and also spoke to the people in charge at Moorfield, the Moore airfield, about it. And she also later on, or later in that testimony, she does say that she has experienced lost time and other happenings similar to this one. So now we're moving into the 2000s, and this sighting is in Laredo, and it's actually a second-hand account. A friend submitted this for their friend. There's video for it, and there's several people who were witness to this. It was his friend, his wife, and their friends. And so they're seeing what he described as balls of fire in the sky. When you watch the video, you'll hear them kind of exclaim and be excited, and it just really adds this like human element to these sightings, and you can hear it firsthand. I'll let you take a look at that.
There's another one coming behind it.
There's another one coming behind it.
Lanterns or something.
There's another one
Should we
coming
turn
behind
it
it.
off?
Coming from, right now, it's going south, southeast.
It has to be like a little fire. It flickers. It flickers, it's fire. It's fire. Somebody else is on it already.
Dude, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it's fire. It's fire.
I don't know.
They look like
Yeah, I'm
candles.
watching it.
Don't talk about that.
If you can.
Dude, but they're like perfectly lined.
Yeah, but it's farther east. Like it's farther to the left because this one might be farther to the left.
Dude, they're perfectly
Look, there's
lined.
another one. There's another one. There's another one. They're coming from the same place. They're coming from the same place. I'm pretty sure those are lanterns.
I hope so.
There's another one. Those are lanterns, right?
Maybe lanterns, that's in my life.
They have to be floating lanterns. People make
Floating
those.
lanterns.
Yes, you put them, you make them like little, like hot air balloons and they float. Hey. These guys, yeah, that's cute looking one. That looks like fire to me, that's the color of fire. They're like, they turn off, like, they turned off. One main all the way.
They have a nice little roof picture. Now, I want to see where they go.
No, that's changing direction.
No, I'm going to the same direction.
Dude, wow.
They just take it closer to the house. This one's coming closer.
They're flying like straight, like, but they're,
Floating, they're floating. One is bucky one, but some of these. Tricky for them.
You do know that tomorrow's supposed to be the end of the rock.
Oh,
Well,
it's big beauty.
how many has there been?
a lot.
But that's, yeah, it's six.
I can't even keep count, you know?
Actually, I say six. This is a fair number. But look at the floating.
What the hell is?
Okay, so that's data. So I think that's just a good example of anytime we've ever seen anything or thought or have heard stories, that just like the excitement of it, the questioning, kind of trying to figure it out in real time. You did hear them talk about like Chinese lanterns. There's also a possibility that it could be flares. This was in 2011, so drones were being used, but and it was before Starlink. So take all those things into consideration. The next sighting is, so this was in Sharyland, at the mission Sharyland, a water plant. He's an operator. He's about 12 feet above ground level, and he's seeing this across the plant above the tree line, and it's a light, and he's saying that it's he actually says that he sees this light several times after that in other instances, but it's a solid bright light and illuminates above the treetops, and he was able to capture it on film. Let's take a look at that one.
What the heck is that? It's just hugging the treetops. Time is now approximately 7 o'clock, about 7:04. That's the closest it's been yet. It always does the same thing. Goes behind those trees and disappears. You see how the light just disappeared? No, it's still behind the trees. Now this time is different. It's not doing any of the flashing or getting brighter and dimmer, and I can still see it moving behind the trees there, but it's real low. Okay, here we are.
I just want to mention, Lillian, that that's actually was my cousin, Daniel Costa, who lives on North Sherry Road. And he contacted me first and showed me, he emailed me a snippet of that video, and I told him, go ahead and do a MUFON report. So I encourage everyone that when somebody approaches you with a sighting, or you yourself have one, if you go to MUFON.com, you can submit anonymously the sighting that you've had, the time of day, all the particulars of it, so that it can help build our database of sightings here in Hidalgo County. Just wanted to mention that I needed the person who submitted this report. Of course, MUFON doesn't give the identity of the witness.
Yeah, it's a really great point. I think that that is something that we encourage people at MUFON 956 as well. Really, the reporting is what helps to build the database and helps to get investigators closer to building a picture, a clearer picture, and giving us some answers. So, So this one's actually interesting because they recorded this. Hey Joel, take a seat. So this one's actually interesting because they recorded this on a camcorder. You know, with the digital age, like I said, it's a lot. Phones are a lot more accessible, and it's quicker to pull them out. And we also have, there's a lot of ways to edit and change, you know, kind of distort things. This is a camcorder, it's, you'll see it in the video. It's just really interesting that they were able to capture this at a time when usually if you were to see something like this, it wouldn't be super common that you'd have something to be able to capture it with. So, a couple interesting things about this one is that it had a hum, he says, like a transformer. Usually, or not usually, but a lot of other sightings will have, will mention that there was no sound. So this one did have a hum to it. next sighting has a bit of a different observer. So the ones prior were, everyday people. This one actually has, there's a Border Patrol agent at work. So that's interesting to notate that this is a trained observer. He looks across to the Mexico side to scan the area, and in Miguel Alemán, or above it, he saw what he described as a diamond-shaped craft moving through the sky, steady, no wobbling, no sound, and he tried to record it and was not able to get a super clear image, but you'll take a look right now. It's there. He's you can hear the shock in his voice, which I think is interesting for someone who's trained to identify and different crafts. To hear him be so shocked and not know what to make of it. So.
It's a fucking UFO. Like, for real, UFO. Like, I'm looking at it through binoculars. You can't tell through the camera, but it's a triangle shape.
Okay. So I think that can be several different things, but like cartel drones were emerging around that time, 2015, but they just don't have those capabilities. I mean, stop mid-air and continue. I mean, the different ways that he described it. They didn't wobble. It had no propellers. Like, yeah.
I just want to mention, Lily, that I've done a lot of photo and video processing on the image because it's such a short video clip. But I've used filters in Photoshop and I've used various video enhancements, and it looks very impressive when you zoom in and you use color filters. It's a very clearly diamond-shaped object. It's stopping and then it accelerates. And Border Patrol agents at that time knew what drones in that time period were like. He says in the video, in the audio, he says this was definitely not any drone. So that's what I found very striking about this case. And we had Chris James, who served in the Border Patrol for many years. He was going to be with us today, but I guess he couldn't make it. But he has told me that this is one of the more impressive sightings by a Border Patrol agent that he's heard about in his many years of service with the Border Patrol. So, very good case.
Since it's short, I'll let you all see it again, so you can see where it's at, because I wasn't able to point it out. I keep losing the clicker. Okay. And so right here.
It's a fucking UFO. Like, for real, UFO. Like, I'm looking at it through binoculars. You can't tell through the camera, but it's a triangle shape.
He says later in his report that it was diamond shaped, actually. Okay. So the next sighting is in Far. This one has two elements I thought were like interesting or notable. He's walking outside, looks up, and the font is really bad, but he looks up and sees lights in the shape of a triangle. Takes photos of it and sends them out to friends or people that he knows. The thing that's notable about this one is he mentions in his report that he put filters on it to try to enhance it, like on Photoshop, and then saved the enhanced photos over the original. So he doesn't have the original photo, or they don't have the original photo. Just this edited one that has a couple filters on it. I think that this is interesting to discuss because when you take these types of photos, or when you grab video and photo, it I think that it does impact the credibility of the evidence if you do alter it a little bit, even if it's to enhance the visual or to kind of clear it, see it a little bit more clearly. So that was in 2016, and they reported that in 2019. This one's interesting. This is a person who is outside sky watching with their telescope and see a glowing orb, or what they describe as a multicolored ship. It's a light that seems to be pulsing and changing in color, and he says he can't explain entirely what it is, but it was just really interesting. So this one does have a couple videos, and take a look. Okay. So, sorry, I meant to mention before that all of the videos have cursing in them, but I think that that's to be expected. There's so many interesting the case videos in this case management system, where you can just hear people's surprise and shock and really natural reactions to everything. Oh, really natural reactions to everything. Sorry about that. So, so this video, I think there's two things that were interesting about it. That they're recorded through a telescope. I think that the light through the lens, it can be distorted if you're recording through that. So I think that this one is a good case to point out the importance of being able to identify natural planets and stars, and what they look like when you record them through a telescope or other objects. So the next case is in Laredo. This person sees what looks like two orbs a red one and a white one. He's able to take a photo of the two of them together, but then says that he was able to start recording when the red orb by itself starts taking off. It's a super windy day. There's a thunderstorm going on, and so he claims, I think in the video, that it'd be really difficult for an orb to be able to, a drone to be moving around like that during that type of weather. So, just just to note on that one's, you know, what are we looking at there? Is it atmospheric because of the thunderstorm, or not? So the next one is the most recent one on the case management system. It's the most recent one on the case management system, and it is a couple people on New Year's Day this past year ending the night, and they go outside and see orbs in the sky. So these are photos that they got of it. That's them right there. Oops. Okay. So, a couple interesting things to notate about this one. I think that, like I said earlier, the importance of being able to identify what you're looking at, whether that's something in space, or a man-made craft, staying abreast of technological advancements and aerospace milestones type of thing. So here it looks like the only downside that I could conclude from that case management system on MUFON is that they don't actually document like what the investigator filed that case as. Here, what I would say it looks like is Starlink. It's the lights are in order. They're still in the sky, evenly spaced. There are several websites that you can use to look up satellites, look up Starlink, check out their direction and where they're located and stuff like that. So that would definitely be useful in this case. I'm not sure what the investigator who investigated this case classified it as. So that's it for me. I do want to let you guys know that we do have a MUFON 956 group. We've just now are in the process of securing like a home base in Edinburgh at the new, there's a new venue that they have, an arts and culture building that's actually super beautiful. We've had one meeting there where one of our members, Dr. Gonzalez, did a presentation on ancient alien artifacts in Mexico. And so we're gonna have a part 2 on that. Pretty soon you'll have to keep in touch with us on social media to know when that's gonna happen. But we're on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, all of the social medias. And those are QR codes if you want to keep in touch with us and see what we're up to. We have a website that we're trying to transition into a resource hub where it's not just MUFON information from our group, but also other community members and groups and events that are ufology adjacent and serve the community. So if you are interested in doing that, follow us. And if you have any questions that you'd like to, submit for the panel later today, like I said, use this QR code and submit them. And okay, I can introduce our MUFON 956 ambassador, Zeno. So before you leave, come and take a picture with him, and he'll give you a little friendship bracelet. And anyways, thanks for listening and not falling asleep while I like stumble through all my slides. But okay, you have way better presenters coming up. In particularly Daniel Jones, who's amazing, and Noe, of course. That goes without saying. But okay, I think we're going to take a break, right? Like 10 minutes. And in the meantime, you can submit some questions. None for me, please. And we'll get started, I think, again in about 10 minutes.
We're actually scheduled to have the next speaker at 2:30. I'm sorry. What's the time? Yeah, sorry about that. 2:30 is the next scheduled speaker, but we're actually going to start Daniel a little bit early so he has extra time because he's got a very nice presentation on one of the most famous UFO cases in the state of Texas, the Aurora UFO crash. And so we're going to get him started in 10 minutes from now, which will be 2:20. You all can go ahead and take about a 10-minute break. And we'll get him all set up with his slides and everything, and he'll get started in 10 minutes, all right? Thanks again to everybody for coming. And thank you, Lily.